So good. Hello. Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody. We are
Yep.
pre-recorded. Yes, we are. Mm-hmm.
Praise the Lord, everyone.
Praise Him.
You better praise.
Hi. Praise the Lord. We're still here praising Him.
That's right.
That's
Oh,
right.
look at Savannah. She
She's
better
getting
praise the Lord.
it. Mm-hmm.
Loving the
Y'all,
Lord.
it's the last Monday in February.
Yes, it
No, it ain't.
is.
No, it ain't. That's crazy. That's what that is.
Guess what else?
Mm-hmm. It's
What?
closer to spring. We're
Closer
one
to
day
spring.
Though.
closer to
That's
spring.
real.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
The question of the night, excuse me, is what month has 28 days?
Mm.
Write your answer in the comments because we here are the living room.
We are.
We love to mess around, have fun,
Mm-hmm.
joke,
Mm-hmm.
laugh, eat,
Mm-hmm.
drink
Oh, yes,
coffee.
we do.
But guess what
Mm,
else we like
Yes.
to do? We like to
Cinnamon
share the
raisin
word of
toast.
God. We like to pray
we
with
do.
each other. And we are humbled that
Mm-hmm.
we get to do that with you. And so here at the living room, we are a ministry that shares the gospel of Jesus Christ and how he heals and walks with us through every trial. We stand in agreement with what Paul was preaching to the Romans, that we consider it that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. And so the hope that we have in Christ is a hope that is eternal and a hope that's everlasting and a hope that we can tangibly grab hold to when we face destruction, when we face the unknown, when we face uncertainties, and allow for
Mm-hmm.
it to permeate our own hearts and our own lives. Therefore, we can go forth in confidence, knowing that the Lord is faithful and he will provide.
Mm-hmm.
We would love if you would follow us on social media,
You better follow.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Just hit the like button.
Like
Get some sweet content about the gospel.
some
Might be
sweet
some
content.
sweet content. We would love that. We would love the opportunity to share things with you. You know what else?
Mhm.
Speaking of sharing. Oh, yes. Forgot.
Speaking of sharing, share your
Share it.
money with Savannah
Yes.
because she is signed to a label, A Thousand Hills Music, and she is preparing. And there's a lot of prayer. She needs you to help pray, just for this amazing opportunity that she has with this label. And they're working on her new album. And you can, these links that are here. It's so many words to say.
It's a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all good
Yes,
things.
it is very good things. So www.athousandhillsmusic.com. You can go and hear a little bit about what the Lord has been doing in my life the past year. And there's two things that I'm asking of you. One is I'm asking you to join me and the team in prayer. This is quite the undertaking, and it will only be made possible through prayer. And obviously, it's gone through the Lord's hand, and we're trusting that, and we know that He's sovereign. And so, the second thing that we're asking for monetary donations. We need to raise $14,000, and if you know anything about the music industry, to record an album in Nashville for $14,000 is very non-expensive. And so I'm very, very thankful to the Lord, just blessing me with this opportunity at a time that I didn't expect anything like this to come. But it is just a huge thing to turn around and look back and be like, well, the Lord is faithful. And so again, prayer and monetary donations you can give at www.generosityrocks.com/a-thousand-hills-music. And then if you want to read a little bit about what the Lord has done, which I would encourage you to do, go to www.1000hillsmusic.com. Thank you in advance for just the support and the prayers. I really appreciate them.
You're welcome.
Yes. Thirdly, Relay for Life is coming up.
Yes.
When it is, I think it's June. relayforlife.org/St. Joseph Elkhart Counties in. This gives us an opportunity to partner with Julie Smith, who is a faithful groupie of the living room, dear friend of mine,
so true.
who is a 5-time, 4-time, a lot of time cancer survivors and has a heart for those who are going through cancer, who have been who are in cancer right now, who have survived and who have passed of cancer. And this gives you an opportunity and us an opportunity to partner with people and partner with medical foundations to raise money to find a cure for cancer and research and help. And so just like you would be partnering in ministry with me in 1000 Hills Music, this would be partnering with Relay for Life. You can give by going there, and this goes directly, I think, to Julie Smith's team, and all of the money raised will go directly into the Relay for Life campaign that they do, kind of thing, whatever. But I'm not 100% sure on the details, and I don't want to misspeak. But it's June 11th through 12th. It's a 24-hour event. I have the privilege of playing again. And it was a really sweet time last year. So I would encourage you, if you're not doing anything on June 11th and 12th, now you have plans. You can come out from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. the next day, hear some sweet live music. There's a lot of vendors and a lot of things going on. I would highly encourage you to book it on your calendars. And again, sweet time to partner in life with people who have been through the pits.
Yeah.
Speaking of pits, an important thing to do in the pits is pray and read your Bible. And I am devastated, actually, because my Bible, hold on, let me show you. Somebody tell about Bible and prayer while I go show you why I'm so devastated.
Listen, if you need prayer or a Bible, we would love to provide one or both or all to you right now, this week, whenever. Hashtag prayer in the comments with your prayer requests, your praises. We want to celebrate with you as well. We want to know what your prayer needs are so we can join you. Type hashtag Bible if you need a Bible, or you know somebody that needs a Bible, or you know somebody that already has a Bible but it's fallen apart, like my good friend Savannah.
No,
guys, I'm devastated. Let me just tell you, it has been a rough couple of months, and my Bible goes everywhere with me. And I guess this is a sign that I've been in it, so I guess that's good, right?
That is
that's right. You better say it.
I'm so sad.
I feel that deep in my soul.
I pulled it out this morning at church, and I'm just saddened. Like, I'm really sad. So
I know. That's real life.
Guys,
we're going to tape it up.
I was like, what are you going to do? Tape it? Super glue?
My good friend
It started adhesive.
Yep, she brought some clear book tape. We're going to tape it up.
Taping it up.
But I mean, it's not even that old.
No, it's not.
But it has been marked in a lot. Maybe that's why.
That's right.
Pressing too hard.
Sometimes when you're in the pit, sometimes when you're in the lion's den, pages are gonna get ripped.
The binding's gonna break.
Yep, but the word of the Lord remains faithful and remains true. Yes, it does.
Even with a little clear book tape.
That's right. The Lord made tape.
That's right.
That's right.
Look at that.
You better add the music over this while we preach.
Y'all, go ahead, Shelby.
I'm sorry. I was thinking, so our verse, can we put our verse back up on the screen? I know this is a request. Okay, so I was reading this while you were saying it. And it's saying that this present time, so comparing things here, right now, our sufferings, it's not worth comparing. It's saying, I don't know, it just hit me. It's like, not only are we not supposed to compare, but it's not even worth going there. Like, it's not even, it's just like a meh. Like, it's not even, you don't even pay it attention, and there's no worth to it. And I was also thinking, speaking of worth, today we are talking about our Enneagram 3s, and they have all the worth in Christ, and
That's
they're
right.
beautiful.
You better preach.
And and they have all the worth in who they are themselves without having to achieve anything. And with that being said, we have one of the world's best, my personal favorite 3 ever, Kate Sellers.
Thank you.
That was
I am a
great.
3. That was a
was
big
great.
old intro. Thank you.
I thought you were going a different direction, and I was ready to chime in. But
I got lost where I was for a minute. I got lost, but I found it.
Oh, that's like the Lord, always finding the one sheep.
The one sheep.
Yep. I'm usually the one wandering off, and he brings me right back.
Kate, you're Enneagram 3.
I am.
We share a wing, which is always sweet.
And
we share a wing too.
And I was just going to say, you and Shelby share a wing. Say that without.
You and Shelby share a wing.
And so you're like the glue between the two.
That rhymes.
So Kate, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? How did you find out you were a 3? We'll start there.
Yeah. So if you've been around the podcast for a minute, you might know that I'm a social worker by trade. That's my career path. So I work in a middle school as a school counselor for 6th through 8th graders. So the Lord just took me there, and I followed, because it is not an easy path to take. No, they are something else, but I love it. I love them. There are definitely challenges, but I don't know. I still very much try to pour my heart into serving these kids and the people around me at school. So that's what I do. And Enneagram, when did I really get introduced to Enneagram? I guess it was before I met y'all, but I feel like I got more, or before I met Sav. But it was like, I feel like
I don't think it's been out that long.
Before I met Shelby, that would have been like freshman in high school, sophomore in high school. No, I'm like trying to think. I think so, like 2020, early 2020, I met Sav. I feel like I was hearing about it a little bit at my old church, and then so I kind of would hear about it more there. Because our pastor was really like into using it as a tool and stuff. And, but then I feel like when I got with Sav and Shelb and we were hanging out every day, that was just like something we started to dive into more, because then I started to experience the many realms of what we thought Sav was. And so, so then we're like, she's a 4. She's definitely a 4. And then we'd be like, oh, she's in her 4 today. Yep, totally a 4. And then it was like, oh, maybe she's a 5. And so it was just really funny. But yeah. And then I think we knew Shelb was a 2. And then I was reading about all of them, and I read some books, and the biggest stand out to me was the core fears were really like an indicator for me. And then also kind of speaking about like early childhood, obviously you start to make those decisions and what kind of develops and shapes you and stuff. And like my biggest fear is not being worthy. And it's like, that's why Shelby had that thing in the beginning, because she still says it. I'm like, I don't know, so it's just a struggle for me. And then, the 2s are like the fear of not being loved. And so for a long time, I thought maybe I was a 2 because of my social work kind of vibe. But I'm definitely a 3, and achieving. I feel like I need to earn everything, and that's all I think. So that's kind of how I found out, or when I did.
Yeah, I remember that a little bit, like, as you were talking, because I know at first you, like, were doing a lot of research about it, because you're like, I think I thought at first you were a 2 as well, because it's like, we're the doers, we're the, like, things, but then as you were reading the deeper stuff, which is so good with the Enneagram, because that's like, it's like tests can be helpful to kind of guide you, but those core things are really what just drives it home. Because I feel like in a lot of ways you and I are similar in like the achieving thing, but we achieve for different reasons, even though sometimes they can overlap. But yeah. So I think it was cool to see you like own your 3-ness, and like when you finally got there and be like, okay, this is who I am.
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love
that.
It's just sweet. And it's like foreign to me. I can, like, as a 5, we're known to be kind of like, and like I think naturally, I think I fall to a 5-wing 4 because I am like naturally very melancholy. There's not a lot that like, I'm not a very excitable human being. And so I'm not like, what? The one time that I was excited, my friends told me to chill out.
I didn't tell you to chill out. I was just really concerned. I was just concerned for a minute, didn't know what to do. I didn't want to ruin the moment.
So the achieving and the like doing and all of that, like I look at that as that's a value. That's something that I desire. And so for you guys saying that, I was just like, dang, like I wish I had some of that. And I don't. Like I just, all right. And I have the like, if you don't like me, you don't like me. I'm not like, that doesn't bother me. And like,
me and Shelby are like, that's really hard.
Switching.
You can like me and you cannot like me. Like whatever your choice is, like I'm gonna respect it. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like, and you're gonna do what you want. And so for like just that whole thing is just eye opening for me because it's just so different. And that's where you two are so similar. And I'm like way out here in that category, and you two are like down here. And so it was just eye opening for me.
Yeah. Kate, I don't know if this is true for you, but if somebody doesn't like us, I feel like it's devastating to me, and devastating maybe to both of us. And then I like push them away, whereas I feel like you would be more amped up to try to win them over. Like, okay, here we go. You're gonna like me, kind of thing. Like, where I'm just like, okay, no, I can't deal with it, so goodbye.
Yes. Well, I was just about to say, no, that is so good, because I was literally about to say, I think I up my performance even more. Like, if someone doesn't like me, I'm going to up the ante. I'm like, all right, no, it's go time. Like, I got to figure out how I'm going to, like, win you over. I'm going to, like, whatever it's going to take. Like, and sometimes that pushes bound, like, I'm not, like, going to extremes where it's, like, I'm hurting myself or others or, like, doing anything like that. But it's, like, I so badly want that. And that's unhealthy at times, right? Like, I'm striving for that, and that's not Jesus, but I am a people pleaser, and I want people to like me. I think over the years, like even in my job, it's interesting because I think sometimes that stretches me. And sometimes I almost fall into like you, Shelb, where I'm like, okay, then you can go away then. Like sometimes I get in that place too, which I also think can be like not good, because then I'm more like loathsome towards them, which isn't good. But
Yep.
I like, especially when you work with middle schoolers that just take you off all the time, you're like, you don't have to like me then, you know, you're 12 years old. Like, but
Right.
but I mean, and that can go with people I work with too, and like adults and people that just don't like my personality or the way I do my job like that. I struggle with it though. I want people to like me. Like,
Yeah.
that's just really hard.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, so Sav, it's funny because how you were saying like us like being doers is like foreign to you, and like we're over here, you're over here. Like you not caring if people don't like you is like foreign to us. Like that doesn't
I
compute to me. Like
wish
how can you
sometimes
not
I
care?
wish
Like,
though, you know.
oh
Ooh, I
yes, it
think life
sounds
would
glorious.
be so yeah, it sounds glorious because it just sounds easier. Like you're not like bogged down by
Mm-hmm.
it all the time. Because there are times where I'm just like it's heavy. Like I'm like, why do
Yeah,
I care? But
right.
I do, and bleh, it's draining.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But
I feel that
yeah,
deep. I feel that deep. I feel like we could
no,
talk about that for a real long time.
we really could.
All right, so shifting gears just a little bit, because since we were talking about the Enneagram and the gospel, how do you like see your threeness playing out with your relationship with God, or like your view of Him? And it can be either like positives or like struggles or both. Like I would love to hear all of it.
Right.
But like if you don't have an idea for all of it, it's totally fine.
That's okay.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that's
What I just asked?
yes, it made total
Okay.
sense. I got you.
Okay.
So because I like we've been asking everybody this question on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, and I knew we were gonna like come to the three, and I was like, I was thinking about my answer, but I think it always comes back to the cut and dry, like of just how I've encountered Christ personally, and like what I always need to remind myself of. So, okay, so I'm also like I dive into 4 sometimes, my wing 4. I feel things. No, this is like 3 right now. But like I also, 'cause I think about it for like my tattoos. So I talked about my cup a year ago with you guys. I literally got
Mm-hmm.
my cup over, which is crazy. I remember looking at my arm and I was like, January 15th is when I got it last year. I was like, so it was January
Wow.
15th this year. I looked at it and I was like, that's crazy. It's been a year. And then I also have the word beloved on my wrist, and that was my first tattoo. So I think those are good reminders for me because of just how I don't feel worthy of love worthy of love a lot of the time. And that's what God tells us we are. Like he died for us, which is
Mm-hmm.
unfathomable to me most of the time because I'm like, I'm not worthy of that. Like, but God's like, no, but I did it for you. Christ went for you. I'm like, but yes, he went for Shelby and he went for Savannah, but did he go for like, I don't feel like I deserve it. Like it's a daily battle. Because I don't feel like I'm worthy of a lot of like even other people's time or energy or love. Like that's just so hard for me to grasp. And so for it to be like our ultimate, to be the savior of the world, doing that for me is really hard. So like to personalize it for myself. So I think I struggle there, but also like it's the beauty of it too, because God makes it very evident that it is for us if we accept it. So it is for me. It is for you, Katie. Like I have to feel like it is for you. And so and I think back, like I talked about it all the time, but like Jesus in Gethsemane and like him suffering and all these things that it's just I have to like walk through that, and him going to the cross. Like I was literally I read the end of Matthew today, and I was reading about Jesus going to the cross and all the things that I'm just like, and that was for my sin. And I was like the mocking one, you know what I mean? And just to believe that he did it for me. I think that's something that I see play out in my mind being a 3 because I fight that, but that's like the ultimate gift. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that answers your question, but that was just like one facet that came to my mind because it's like being worthy of that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good.
But Yeah, can you ask the question again? Because I feel like I have more, but can you ask the question again?
Yes, I can ask it again.
Sorry.
So no, you're fine. That was good. So we're talking about your view of God in light of being a three, and so how you see him, if you see threeness in him, like how that plays out, um, things that are hard for you to relate to, because of your threeness with him. I don't know, Sav, if you
Mhm.
can ask it a better way, feel free to.
Well, and I think it's good to, like, it's interesting because, so again, kind of maybe going back to Matthew, right? So we're like in the Gospels and you're like reading about Christ on earth and like seeing his actions and his demeanor and like how like, he kind of swam upstream right? Like, he was
Mm,
ver I mean, he
mhm.
did as God, his father, told him to do, even when people were, like, always trying to catch him and trick him, right? Like, trying
Yeah.
to make him out to be something, or, like, he's saying he's all this and that and the other, and, like, Jesus would put it in a way that's like, "No, I am who I am, and my father sent me to do this." Like,
Mhm.
they're, like, trying to get him blaspheming his father or trying to do this, and it's like Jesus was so steadfast in who he
Mm,
was, and I think as a
mhm.
3, I think that can be contradictory because a lot of people didn't like Jesus at the end of it
Mhm.
all, right? But he
Yeah.
still did what he did, and so but for me, it's like, I look at it and I very much sometimes like, 3s are known also for trying to kinda they conform a little bit, right? So, like,
Like
you fit.
chameleon.
Yes, to, like, you fit who you're around, you're just always trying to like, you're pleasing, so sometimes people, like, say they might not know a 3 fully for who they are because they're
Mm,
constantly trying to, like, please or, like, fit in or do the thing, and, like, they put on a show, they like to be kind of the charming one, like, things like that, so I think that and Jesus was so, like, transparently just who he was, and he stuck to that.
mhm.
He was never something he wasn't, and, like, even when people were trying to, like, sway him or, like, catch him, like I said, like, he did as he was supposed to do and stayed true to that, and I think that's something, like, like, even if people didn't like him, and I think as a 3, that's hard.
Mhm.
Do I do
Yeah.
that all the time? I don't know, you know? So
Yeah, that I mean, that totally is hard. Like I'm with you, Kate, 'cause
Mhm,
I've as you're saying things like it, mhm, yes, mhm.
mhm.
Um, one thing like I don't know, even if I'm changing the subject too quick, let me know. But something that popped into my head about like threes and like what you were saying about Jesus is like Jesus was like paving the way. Like he was like radical in his message. Like it was completely countercultural. And just like completely like challenging the status quo and um just going and doing and like he had a plan. He knew God's plan and he was going to get it done.
Mhm.
And that's like one of like when you were saying, I was like, well, that's like a three thing. Like you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if if there is something that needs to be done and you want it done well, like ask Kate to do it. Like you are
Yeah.
like you are the one that gets things done. You do it and you're not just like a finisher, you're a completer and you're like an excellent completer. So like
Mm.
if your
Mhm.
name is on it, like you are committed to it, you are going to make sure it is the best of the best and
Yeah.
not like in a prideful way, but in like no, like I have owned this and I'm going to come through on it and achieve it. Like and I
Yeah.
love that about you cuz like I don't know for me like, I have a little bit of that, but I don't have the drive that the 3 has. And so,
Mhm.
like, seeing your drive and, like, your like, "Okay, this is what I want," and or even if, like, you're in a place where you don't know what you want, you're, like, trying to figure it out. You're trying to, like, "Okay, this is, like, what my, like, dream is, and now I'm going to start figuring out how I'm going to get there, because that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be here anymore, so I'm going to figure this out. Like, whereas like for me, I just like shut down and I'm just like, oh, I'll ignore it until I can't anymore. But
Right.
um
I hear you.
but I just see that like um in you is like just that, like, no, I'm going to like do this and get this done. I'm going to like pave the way, and like, and also if I can just keep like gushing over you for a second, is if you need a cheerleader, Kate Kate is my hype man. Like, she is my hype girl. Like, if I need encouragement, if I need somebody to be like, come on, like, get it going, you could do it. Like, you tell Kate about it and Kate will cheer you on. It is, and that's like, and it's not like, it's not a fake thing. Like, you are so good at what you do. Like, I know you said you were a social worker by trade, but you're a social worker just like to your core.
Mm.
Like, it's like they just like that job just like happens to fit everything that you are. Like, you're so good at like encouraging people and like coming alongside them and like inspiring them and moving them to succeed and like do what they can. Like, and you're so encouraging in that. And I think that that's like just another attribute of God. Like, he encourages us and moves us to keep going, and to push us through and to lead and guide us in that. um yeah, that was
Yeah.
my tiny rant.
Thank you. No, and I love it. Bless you, Sav. I love that too because you.
Thank you.
No, I think so. The biggest, like, the threes, like in the chart of Enneagram, are like known as the achiever. So that's a good point. I think sometimes like I lose track of that because sometimes I think like I know some other threes and they're so like above and achieving in a way that I'm not. So I think sometimes I like just gloss over that part and I'm just like, maybe I'm not an achiever, but I think you're right in ways that like I am. And like, especially when you said it perfectly, and I think I've had this conversation with you guys, when my name is attached to it, it's not going to be cruddy. No, like it's not possible. Like, I'm not going to let that happen because I just can't. La, 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 la. I want it to be good and I want it to be done right. And so, people know that too. So I don't know, that I do take pride in that. And I think too, like, I even think in the capacity of my job, I think that like in a perfect world, I would definitely be more on like that mindset. It's complicated in the school system and stuff, and we're just like really lacking help and all this stuff. Anyway, but I was like thinking about it like the other day, like I literally stayed at school till like 5:00 at night because I just had to get stuff off my desk and done. Like, I just couldn't. I was so done with like, because I couldn't get it done during the day. I'm like, I need to get it done. And I was like, I'm going to accomplish this. And I have sticky notes out the yin yang. And when they come off the list, I'm like, oh, check, here we go. We're getting it off the list, And so I love sticky notes, love them.
Yeah.
And I love I love like color coding my stuff. And I like folders. And I like especially in a working environment, I'm like, like, yeah.
Yes.
So
I think it's interesting. Like, in that sense, like, I feel like like threes and ones are very similar in that, and like, but like again, for very different reasons. Like, the ones are like, no, there's like a right and a wrong, and it's about like order, whereas like the three is like, no, I'm doing this to keep organized so that I can continue checking things off and getting to the next step. Like,
and
so I think that's,
yeah,
I think that's interesting how that goes together.
That is interesting.
I ask a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kate.
Go ahead, Kate.
No, this is the problem with a three too, because I could talk all the time. So no, I was gonna also say, with you talking about Jesus, like, I do appreciate that like commonality that you saw as far as like being a cheerleader and like caring about people in that way too. Because so it might be a 3 thing. It might sometimes, like, I don't know if it's a 3 thing or like a Kate thing. I don't know. I very like deeply care about people. Like, I just care. Like, and sometimes that gets me in trouble because I like might start caring before other people care, and that's the whole thing.
Well,
But
I mean, Jesus got killed for it, so
you better say that again. So I care, and it's interesting too because I think it also helps me do my job because I care about, like, so example with like kids or just working with people. Everybody's different, right? But like I care so deeply about people that I think also being a 3, like the chameleon piece works in my favor at times because I like find commonality with like almost every person I meet. It can be the smallest thing or a really big thing. And like I try to find connection with every person to know that like they're not alone. And like I do care, and like I see you because like, oh my gosh, yeah, like we're connected, even just as people. And so and sometimes that's really even hard to find. And it's just the fact that like we're both human beings, then like we struggle and God made us. Like, I don't know, sometimes that's even it. But like I truly like try to live my life like seeing people that way and that they all matter, you know? And so I don't know what that is in me, but that's how I feel sometimes.
The Lord. It's the Lord in you.
I hope so.
That is something that I appreciate about you as well, is I feel so much more comfortable going into like a group of people or a new place or situation if you're with me, because I know that you will, even if you're also uncomfortable, you like are able to just like turn it on and like find some kind of like way to ease in without being awkward, where I haven't learned that trait. And so I'm always like, okay, Kate's with me, so we're gonna get talking somehow. Like we're gonna smooth it over somehow. So I appreciate that about you, because I always like, okay, Kate's here, so she's gonna take this one for the team.
I got you, girl. I love it.
That's good. I don't really have any other questions. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, one of my favorite questions that we've been asking people is like, what is the like stereotype of your number that you are like 100% yes, that's true for me, and one that doesn't fit you?
I feel like the 3s are like the really like spunky, like out there people that like are trying to like charm the room kind of. I don't know, would you say? I feel like when I used to not be that way though. I feel like I was more introverted but I'd have like come out of my shell like in the past, I don't know, like 8 years or something, where it's like I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, like I feel like I want, because again with like the worthiness thing, I don't know if I used to be like a silent sufferer or something, but then I was just like, you know, where it's like I was just like, oh, I don't feel, you know, like I'm not feeling worthy, but like I would just kind of like be quiet. But now I'm like, I think I have more confidence too in just what I do. And so but I don't know, I just feel like I'm always loud and obnoxious sometimes, and I feel like that's a 3, maybe not, but
the picture of you when we're axe throwing comes to mind, because like when you get the axe hooked in, you're constantly like dude, like damn, you do the squat thing is so funny to me. I just love it. It's so funny.
Yes. Love to accomplish things. I know some, because I'm trying to think of like some stereotypes. I know it's bad because it's my thing. I think because like I said with the achieving thing, I just have different levels of that. I think there's just different ways you could see achievement too. But 100%. Also like competitiveness. I think that that's a stereotype, and I think I'm can be okay. I mean, I like to win, but I also am like happy if other people win, you know? It depends, I guess. Like, I'm just kind of like,
yeah, like I would say, I don't know, is being your friend and like being in situations like that with you. I feel like you're competitive, but you don't like shut down and turn into like a sore loser, like if you don't win.
I hope not.
Like you're
Yeah.
still like fine to be around. Whereas I've been around people that just like shut down and like are awful to be around if they don't win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, like like you want to win, but you're still like fine like if you don't. So
And I also try to cheer on the team, hopefully. You know, I feel like
absolutely.
that's where that's
Mhm.
the 3, I guess, too. It's like, let's go.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, side note, I don't know wing wise. Because I always say I have a 4 wing and then I have my 2 wing. But I don't know
I feel like I don't know,
what I
Sav, if you
am.
agree with this or not, but I feel like you are pretty fluid as well. Like like especially dependent on the season you're in. I
Yeah.
think like you're like whatever is like the most pressing thing in your life dictates what wing you fall to. And that could be like that. I'm not scientific or anything or trained in this at all, but that was just something like I was wondering about, like depending on where you're at, because I've seen you function in both of your wings for sure. So I don't know. Sav just disappeared. I looked up and she was gone. Oh,
A
you
fidget.
dropped your fidget.
I would agree with that.
You would or wouldn't?
I would.
Oh.
But I think that also could be true of everyone, right? So like,
Yeah, for sure.
Season, I think naturally, this is just me. Like I feel like naturally, if we were to like take a hard look and like sit back, we probably fall to one wing.
Yeah.
But we pull like are very fluid and flipping back and forth. But I think naturally, there's got to be like a natural bent almost.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I naturally fall to a fill in the blank.
Yeah, because like there's some people that only fall one way, like Christy that we had on that was a 1. She only felt like she fell to the 2, I think. And then I can't remember if we had someone else on that said that too, or if I was just reading about it.
I know,
yeah,
like with Ash too. Sorry, I was just thinking because with Ash, she was a 9. She was like teetering for a long time if she was a 9 or a 1. So I think she ended up figuring that she was a 9 wing 1 because that was so strong for her. And so I would say like for her, like she didn't really even think a lot about like going into her 8. You know what I mean? But
gotcha. Yeah. And I think that's cool. A cool thing about the Enneagram is just how fluid it can be. And it's just, I don't know, even when you think about like what numbers you grow to, what numbers you stress to, like there's just like a lot of fluidity among it as it is, just as a whole thing. Which just shows like the intricacies of God and like how he creates and how we're not like confined to a box. Like we're all very unique still in the way that we process and act and behave and all of those things.
Yeah. Touche. It's a good word. It's a good word. Any last remarks, Kate? Anything you would want your people to know how to love you best?
Oh, yes. Let us know how to love you best, Kate.
I don't know. I think that like I have such great people in my life, like in my support systems, like you two, both of you in particular, that remind me of my worth and how cared about and loved I am, not just by you guys and like the people on this earth, but by the Lord too. And so,
you better preach
just having
to
that
yourself.
just having that constant reminder. And praying like to believe it for myself, and some days are easier to believe it than others or to live it than others, but but just having people constantly love me in that way and reminding me of those things it's just really, really good. So I appreciate it.
I love that.
Awesome. We love you, Kate.
Kate, we love you.
I love you guys.
Thank you for sharing the snippet of your life with us here.
Thank you.
Enneagram.
Thank you for letting me tap.
Your little 3s. I love the 3s. And if you're an Enneagram 3 or you're an Enneagram 6, you're 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5. Like us on Facebook. Like us on Instagram. Hit the bell on YouTube.
You better hit it.
We would just love the opportunity to share some content with you. And as always, we would love the opportunity to partner in prayer with you. We would love the opportunity to partner in praise with you. And if you need a Bible, type #Bible. And if you have a prayer request, type #prayer. And again, thank you so much, Kate. Thank you for joining us, everyone. And if you have an answer to our wonderful question of the day, what month has 28 days? Comment below. Comment below. And
if you get it right, we'll tell you about it.
That's right. As always, may you look to Jesus and seek him above all else. We'll see y'all next week.